Welcome to the Boxing Life podcast with me, Tony Jeffries. Alongside us, I've got Glenn, Mr. Six Figure Homes. Glenn, how's it going, mate?
Going good, how are you?
Going very well. I really enjoyed this podcast that we've just did you?
I loved it, yeah. It was really interesting talking to Alan, and you said it was your favourite episode we've done so far.
Yeah, this was my favourite episode we've done so far. Well, Alywn Cosgrove, who is massive in the fitness industry over here.
Yeah.
Alan is a public speaker. He owns a gym, Results Fitness, in California.
Author. He's written 6 books, I think.
Yeah.
No? Books.
He's a cancer survivor. He's had cancer twice. We touch on that. And then we'll really get into business, like how he could run his business without being there.
Yeah.
Talks about systems, how important it was putting systems in place, how we put systems in place.
Yeah.
What sort of his systems?
Yeah, and just how to run any business, really. Like, just really eye-opening business stuff, not necessarily fitness businesses. So I think people take a lot from it. He's a smart man.
I loved what he was saying about referrals as well, how he gets referrals in, talking about word of mouth.
Yeah.
How to spread the name of your business was huge.
We also talk about what a shithole Scotland is as well, so that's good.
Yeah, that's at the end. So, yeah, here it is, the Boxing Life podcast with Alywn Cosgrove. So my first question for you is, if someone asks you who doesn't know who you are, what you do for a living, what would your answer be?
Well, first of all, I'm in the witness protection program. That's why I'm over here in the US. Glad we're not videoing this. Oh, shit. I use 2 answers. I feel like I'm a fitness problem solver. Like, I get a lot of, although we run a gym and that's what we do, I feel like what I thrive best at is when someone comes with something that's not normal. Like, I'm training for this thing that's unique. It's not like training for a 5K. I'm like, we know what to do, right? Like, so I've always liked challenges like that. So I like that type of role, and I think that's evolved into sort of a fitness business problem solver. So I mean, on paper, I run a gym and I have a consulting company called Results Fitness University. But I have books and things. My income comes from different ways. But I like to think that my books were a solution to a problem. The business model we have was a solution to a problem. Right. And so that's what makes me tick. That's what makes me my heart sing.
Would you say you were author? How many books have you wrote?
I think 6, and I've contributed to another 3.
Oh, nice.
I used to have a couple of. I used to do a lot more work with the magazines, but I think it's a little sort of the evolution of that field is that the internet's changed a lot of that. So it's not print is not as much now.
Yeah.
So
your books is on like obviously fitness and solving problems in the fitness.
Yeah, it's like I've always felt like it's we understand bodybuilding, right? You understand strength training. If you understand, a 1 rep max, you can periodize a strength program. It's not real challenging. If you understand VO2 max, you can periodize an endurance program. But someone comes to you and says, right, I'm doing a Spartan race. Well, like, that's like a challenge. It's something a little bit exciting there. Or like when you understand boxing and you can write a boxing program for a fight, and then someone comes and they're like, I'm doing MMA, and it brings a new something to it. You're like, well, how do I adjust that stance? Well, like from you, like, how do I adjust that stance when you can be kicked now and you can be taken down? Like, it's not classical. That stuff excites me. And unfortunately, I get bored quite quickly. Like when something new is that. So. And that sort of idea led to some things like the speaking, the Perform Better stuff, and then the books and some magazine stuff. But I did say I like solving problems.
Yeah, that's where we know you from, the Perform Better. It was like, there's a Scottish bloke over there. Go and listen to his thing. He's really good. So we'd go and listen to you. And I'm right in seeing you a Taekwondo champion, or you?
Yeah. That's where I started. That's where I started as in in martial arts. In Taekwondo, and I'd done UFC. If that had been a career option, I don't know if it had been any good, but I'd definitely pursued that. Like, when I went to college to get better at Taekwondo and compete, and really for selfish reasons. And then when I was at college, my mum passed away from a heart attack, and then I got more interested in like helping general. Like, there's a problem. There's an obesity problem, and there's a general. We're great at sports training. We're not good at helping the general population. So there's more challenges there, and that excited me more. And then when I finished college, there was no pro taekwondo. There was no money in it, and I'd done a couple of fights for money, but like $100 and things. You're professional because you're getting a check, but you're definitely not making a living. Yeah. And so it really just sort of I moved here, and then when I was first here, just with a a visa and then a green card, the international stuff stopped. Like I couldn't be on the US team because I wasn't an American citizen, and the international competition stopped. So it's kind of fizzled out, which is the weirdest part. Like, I was listening to one of your podcasts. I never had a last one where I'm like, right, that's it. I just sort of fizzled away, and then you know, you still see guys, you know, who are coaching now or still fighting, and you're like, oh, you know, I could beat that guy, and then forget he's never missed a training session since then. I've had cancer twice, and he's never missed a class. And so, I'm like, I can still beat him.
Yeah. So in your gyms, you don't have anything to do with Taekwondo, right?
No, it's just, I don't think my members even know. Really? I have a picture of me on the wall.
And like you said, you've had cancer as well. That's something I think you've said in one of your talks, right? Talk a little about that.
It was actually just it's funny, it was July 27th, 2004 was the day I found out. And it was sort of 2 days you remember as a cancer survivor. The day you find out and the day you find out you're all
July
clear.
27th?
Yeah.
So that it?
It took 2 days ago.
Right, yeah.
So it was, I found a lump. I had like anxiety and like depression, more anxiety really, and just wasn't feeling good. And so I've been going to the doctor and just like, you know, just doing a bunch of tests and looking at your testosterone levels, your thyroid levels, different things, and everything's all over the place, but nothing's really standing out. I went for a follow-up and I goes, and I've also got this lump in my thigh. I remember his face just like changing, you know, and then we went to get it taken out, and then you wake up after the surgery and they're like, it was a lymphoma, it's a tumour. The whole world just completely changed, right? So I started chemo, did that for it was a fairly aggressive chemo regimen for about 6 months, and I went into remission, and then at my year's checkup we did a scan again and I was back to stage 4. So there's no stage 5. It's stage 5. Well, there is. Stage 5 is dead, a dead guy, right? You don't have to look so scared. I made it. Right? And then I started. I did more chemo then, and then we did a stem cell transplant at UCLA, and that was I always say this joke. I went in 2006. 666 was the day I checked in, and the 13th was the day I did the transplant. So if you're superstitious, like this is awful. But it was. It's been. I like to see the positive side of it. Is hard with something like cancer. But I've been one of the fittest people I've ever met when I was competing, and I've been the weakest, most out of shape person I've ever met post cancer. Right. And that's a unique perspective that a lot of people won't get. Like I got pinned with a 45-pound bar, one of my first workouts back. Tried to do a bench press, like it's so weak, couldn't get it off my chest. So it's been, that journey has been powerful. You know, that's something.
Coming out of that, how do you think it's changed your outlook on life, like mentally? Do you find yourself like hardly fearful of anything? You're like way more confident in things?
It comes and goes, because at some point you're still fed up, you're stuck in traffic, right? You're still, but there is it's a Lance Armstrong line that after cancer there are only good days and great days. Yeah. Right? And there is a little part where some people don't make it, and I don't know what I did differently than them, and I don't know why, but I've been given extra days, and it would be rude to waste them. Right. That's how I feel. Right? Like it's the day you get your transplant, they call it your day 0, it's your rebirth day. And that's June the 13th, and that's the day I celebrate as my birthday. So I feel like I'm a living, right? Like I'm like, this is it started. And I mean, you celebrate your birthday out of like respect to my parents and stuff, but it's just a insignificant day to me. That's the day that it's your rebirth day and you start over. So you take it, and it also, it sounds weird. I learned some business stuff then, because I was able to run our business and grow it without me being there. Right. A lot of people can't take a weekend to come to a seminar with me, because I can't be away from my business for 2 days. I'm like, I was away from everything for months, and it still grew. I'm like, that helped me fast track a lot of business stuff to understand systems and things like that. Right. You know,
it's quality. Yeah.
So was that the first time you had cancer?
That was the second time. It was the first time. It was about 6 months, and I did it all as an outpatient. I was went home after chemotherapy and just came back for the sessions, and they said, I remember the doctor saying, he goes, we're going to do some high dose chemo this next time. And it was high dose. The last time it was really high. It was horrible. He goes, well, the last time you came for 4 hours twice a week. And I was like, yeah. He goes, this is 24 hours, 7 days, straight through.
Whoa.
I was like, well, that will qualify as high dose. So I basically moved into UCLA for a while.
Wow. Well, congratulations on getting better.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
And why do you say you don't know how you got better? Like, were you healthy? Were you drinking carrot juice, or what were you doing? It's
hard because everyone's like, how did you change your diet after it? What did you do? I'm like, I wasn't like I was eating just charred chunks of black meat. And,
right.
You know, I have things, I think, we live near power lines. There's no real family history of it, so although it's genetic, there had to be an environmental factor. So we live near some power lines that I used to run in the mornings, and the heart rate monitor would cut out sometimes under it. So there's obviously something, and then I'll.
That's interesting that you said that because it was in your thigh too, right?
Yeah.
So you're putting the picture together. So the running with the power lines. And
you wonder, right? And then the other thing that is, I drank a lot of Diet Coke, a lot of aspartame, and I think there's enough. There's enough evidence to me to question that a lot of it. It's definitely not good for you.
Yeah.
Right? How bad for you is it? I don't know. And I'll have this other thing, right, that on a scale of 0 to 10, everybody's got a risk of getting cancer. And let's say that at 10 you get cancer, and genetically you're a 1, and you start smoking, and you're living in a nuclear power plant, and now you're up at a 9.5.
Yeah.
You don't get cancer.
Right.
Maybe I'm genetically an 8.
Yeah.
And staying in the sun too long puts me at 10-1.
Right.
When I develop it. So there's... I think there's always a genetic factor and an environmental factor, and it just could be a bunch of things. But aside from, I have this, like, you put your faith in experts all the time, so I put my faith in the medical doctors there, but you have a responsibility yourself to, I was doing acupuncture and things like that, and anything that I thought might help. But fast forward, we moved away from the power lines,
right.
And I don't touch aspartame either, so...
Well, now you live in California, in
Santa Clara,
Yeah. I want to pick your brain a little bit on what you just said there about how your business ran without you, because, I mean, we kind of at that stage now where I can step back and go a week holiday or 2 week holiday, but and you said the systems, which is massive. Can you talk a little bit about that, about running your business without you?
Well, what part of it too is I was looking at the business as a whole when I was in the hospital and realising that, right, what if I don't make it, right? What if this is it, right? How do I get out of my head how I write a program, right? So it's not just an art form where I just write something down that I think, that this is how I think. So I started to really come up with all these different programming templates when I was sitting in the hospital. And then you kind of get to a level where you're like, right, I've got that part down. Like, and that's be the easiest thing for you guys at first. It's how does a boxing session look like, right? That's the easy part. But then you've got to back it out to, when somebody first calls on the phone, what do I say?
Yeah.
Right? And how do I make sure that you say the same thing? So we started getting scripts and things.
Right.
And the phrase is, system stands for save yourself some time, energy, and money. Right? Just follow the system.
Class.
Right?
Say it again.
Did you come up with that?
I don't, I'm sure I didn't. I don't know who did, but I'm sure it wasn't me.
That's
but
amazing.
I've said it.
Say it again.
Save yourself some time, energy, and money.
That's literally what it is.
But
amazing.
It's the way I always explain it is, like at seminars, I do this analogy of like making cookies. Right? I don't know how to make cookies, but I'm sure if somebody gave me instructions, they said, go to the store and get these things, come home and put the oven on at 325. I'm making these numbers up. So don't be commenting that I don't know how to make cookies. But I can follow this recipe, right? And it might not be perfect, but it'll be all right, right? Because I'm following the steps, right? That's all a system is. It's just a recipe, right? Like so it's not anyone's fault that their business isn't where they want it to be or their program's not where they want it to be. They just don't have the right recipe yet. And that's one of my problem solvers. I can give you the recipe. The problem comes is if you don't know how to make cookies and I give you my recipe and you're like, this is all right, but you know what? I like black pepper. Put a little of that in here. And I like bananas as well. So I put a little bit of that in there. And then the cookies come out and they're terrible. Yeah. And you're like, his recipe's crap. I'm like, no, you didn't follow it, right? So before you make your own recipe, I think there's the idea of you become like an assistant chef before you get to make your own things. But that's the idea is systems make average people great, right? There's a reason why McDonald's is the biggest franchise and they make so much money. Is they've got it figured out. You don't need to figure it out. They've done it.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. This is what we charge. This is what you say. At the end of that, you say, do you want fries with that? 60% will say yes, and you'll make extra money. Just follow these steps. You don't, and we have that now that if we test something, we will test it and we'll track if it works. But if answering the phone this way works better, we'll all change. So you'll test things and then you can start refining over time. But I'm sure it wasn't me that came up with that acronym.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Yeah, so you see, that's what you were doing. You got everyone on the same page with you on all that stuff when you were in hospital, and they start implementing all that stuff, right? Yeah,
well, the idea is right, if you come and work for me, as talented as you could be, as talented as you're bringing in, the only reason I need you is because there's too much demand for me, right? I need more of this.
Right.
And here's how this looks, right? That's what the Big Mac looks like. I don't need it's cool that your mum has this good spaghetti bolognese recipe, right? But that's not what we do.
Yeah.
The reason you're here is to do more of this, and this is what this looks like.
Yeah.
And when people say, like, the reason you have a job is this, and it's not. I've got great guys now, and it's the systems have evolved. They're not mine. They're ours, and the programming has evolved, and things have stepped up, and some of it's become their own. To be fair, but it starts with here's how we do things here, and it was really that understanding of right. They're not here. It's the McDonald's thing again. You don't go to McDonald's on a Tuesday because Mikey's working and he does the fries just right, right? You go because it's consistent, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were. We had a rule when we were competing in Taekwondo. Nothing new. My wife always says nothing new on race day, right? Nothing new. So when we travel now, we go to no chain restaurants at all. We want to go to local places, nice places and stuff. But when I was competing, we only went to chain restaurants because you wanted something consistent, no surprises that you're going to get sick the next day.
Right.
You know, so you end up like that's about systems because you know it's always solid. People want a customized experience, but they want it very the same. They don't want a surprise every time they come in to train. I don't want you to mix it up too much.
No, I love that. And the way we run our classes here, we've got like between 5 and 7 trainers for one class.
Nice.
And everyone's got their job roles. Everyone knows what they should be doing. And with the systems in place, we train them up at that specific part of the class where there might be one person might be doing the warm-up, one person might be working with people on the heavy bags, one person might be setting up the conditioner, doing the stretches after. So we've got the systems in place to do that. And if we get any negative feedback from our guys, it might be we micromanage a little bit. What do you think about that?
There's a balance, right, where you've got to let your guys grow, right? You don't want to be selfish. You've got to let them grow. But if they have if they have an idea to do something better, then let's make it better as a team. Yeah. And let's do this and let's roll it out. What I can't have you do is just freestyling, because I don't need like the most successful movie franchises are things like James Bond, where they can replace the lead guy because it doesn't matter. You just step into the role, right? Like you just step into the role. I need you to execute my system, and that's where you'll make the money. And I will make you a star by being great at what you do. But as soon as you're trying to go off script and try to do this stuff, you're now a weakness to me because you're unpredictable. Even if it's good, even if it's good, I'm like, I know you meant well, but now where did this come from?
Right.
Like, why are we doing the circuits for 4 minutes now instead of 3? What were you thinking? I thought it'd be better. Okay, it is. Good job. Run it by me the next time. Yeah. Because you're written up now for going off script, even though it was right. Like you bring that to me and we do it as a team. I just don't want this business is too important to improvise. This is people's fitness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't get to improv it. Run the script.
At the same time, it's a creative industry where creativity and innovation is like, the best trainers are really creative people who think outside the box. So we've putting a system in place in a creative industry, it's like you got to find that fine balance. You know, I love the McDonald's analogy, but like with something like that, it's pure system. It's basically robots,
but
right?
they do add stuff. They do change. They do evolve. They've added coffee. They've added things, right? So the creativity comes. It just can't be done you can't just improv it and do it on the fly. That today we're doing triple cheese on the burgers.
Yeah,
right.
It has to be thought out.
This class is successful because this is what we've come up with. Let's revisit every 60 days. Is this the best we can do?
Right.
And so the creativity can't stop because there's things you add. Like I've said, when the TRX first came with the suspension training, I hoped it wouldn't be good because I didn't want to have to go back and rewrite everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope it's just shite. Right. I'm like, and it wasn't. And I'm like, but I can't ignore it now. Now it's got to be part of what we're doing.
I had that same exact thought process when I first started seeing TRX straps in my old gym. And I see people like messing around. I was like, I don't want to know about that. I was like, I don't want to learn how to use that. You know, it's like,
I've done it.
It'll be shit. It'll be goy.
I've done it with kettlebells and sandbags too. As I'm just,
something new. Like, something else.
Yeah, especially when you see it and you're like.
But when you get over that and you dig into it and you learn it, you're like, you're so glad that you.
Well, that's the power of systems, right? Like at some point in your boxing classes, you're going to do some type of core and abdominal work, right?
Yeah.
If you find a better way to do that, you're like, well, this is where it goes. It slots in here, and maybe I take this out, right? But it's not like we didn't just suddenly add a TRX section to what we were doing. We're like, all right, this is a TRX pulling variation. Yeah. That goes in our pulling category. This is a TRX single leg variation. That's where it goes. So you can refine your system. And it's funny as it was 1973 was Bruce Lee died, and he was talking about mixed martial arts then. That this absorb what is useful, reject what is useless idea, that you can go beyond the confines of a single system. Like you don't kick in boxing. Well, what if you get kicked? Well, we just don't. Yeah. Right, that's the rules, right? And then you don't punch in judo. Well, what if you get punched? Yeah. Well, now that sport exists, that you've got to understand. They don't even talk about like last night the UFC was on. They don't talk about this as kickboxing versus jiu-jitsu. Like, this guy's got a good ground game, this guy's got good stand-up. Like, it's completely
it's mixed,
evolved and become formless. Yeah. And a little bit in fitness, we're still not there. We're still like, oh, I'm a kettlebell guy. Yeah. How can you be a kettlebell guy? It's a thing. Yeah. Right. You gotta have a principle of training, and that's a tool. Totally. Like, if you came in and all your kettlebells were gone, are you just done? Yeah. Like, if you're like, oh, we're heavy bad guys. Well, what if they were all gone one day? You're just like, oh, I don't know what to do. Right? They're just things.
What would you say is, I'm loving this podcast, by the way. I'm loving this system.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
What would you say, being a business owner, gym owner, is the hardest thing in your gym, or as an owner? What's the hardest thing for you?
I think it's that balance that you're saying that I heard that joke that entrepreneur is a French word for fuck it, I'll do it myself, right? There's a little part of that, right?
That's true, isn't it?
Where I've got to empower my guys to do things and allow them to fail. Like, knowing I can do it better and faster myself, but this is not the way. Yeah. Right? Like let me just step in and correct this girl's jab. Let me just no, I've got to let John do this. Right? That's my I don't know if it's a business owner thing or my own personal issues that I like I like them to get better faster. I think there's this thing when a new trainer comes in too, right? There's this I know they don't know what they're doing. And they know they don't know what they're doing. But we go through this little zone of everybody's they try to pretend that they know what they're doing, right? And I'm like, let's just get, like, I know, like, you got the job already. I saw potential in you, but of course, like anybody who comes to my gym, we run it differently there from different gyms. You're going to be lost on some things. Just get the ego out the way and start asking the questions, and we'll grow together. Yeah. So I think the challenging part is figuring out how to teach my team faster and more effectively. And that's where you grow to with your certification and stuff. It's all about, it's not the system, it's how do we communicate that even better? Like, how do I teach it even better? Like, I understand how to cue exercises pretty well. I understand how to cue movement. How do I teach that to my guys? And how do you get somebody to think like you think? Like, if I try to punch you right now, you'll just move out of the way. Yeah. But if I ask you, can you explain what you did? You're like, well, I just sort of get out of the way. Yeah. Like, actually what you did is you went to punch receive position 1, and then you moved your head to punch defense position. And that's the idea, is how do you get somebody to think like you? Right. Like, would you just throw the ball and you just catch it? Yeah. Right? How do you, so that's the level. But there's an acceptance that maybe they never will. So you bring them, you teach them what you can, and then you help them grow. Yeah. So it's like, I like to be positive. That's the hardest part, is helping people grow.
Right. So, and how do you do that? Have you got a system in place for that?
Yeah, everything is, we start with everybody comes through a channel. The one thing I've learned recently is I've always been available to my guys, and I've only been reminded of this very recently, as I've never said, here's when I'm available if you want to make an appointment. Like, right. I'm available these days every day, because I used to just say, like, come get me anytime you want.
Yeah.
And they always say, well, you're too busy, so they don't come.
Right.
And, well, then that's on me. So I'm like, all right, from 1 till 3, Monday through Friday, here's my availability. If these times don't work, give me another time and I'll make it work. And since I've started doing that, things have been even better.
Yeah,
right. So cool. I feel like I'm approachable.
Yeah.
And they just think you're busy.
Yeah.
And they're not wanting to learn. They just think you've got no time for me. And so that was my fault. So some of it's having some type of structured education program, but it's really about making time, like putting it in. You know.
Yeah. Totally.
I've seen on your Facebook you're looking to bring on apprentices.
Yeah.
Well, without your hiring process.
Let me just explain legally that if we do an internship, there's no guarantee of employment, nor is it a prerequisite for employment at Results Fitness. However, 3 or 4 of my best staff have come through this internship program.
Right.
So part of it is, it sounds weird, is that I want to raise the standards of this profession. I want it to be, like, if I tell you my friend's coming in and he's the #1 personal trainer in, Binghamton, New York, you're like, whatever. If I tell you he's the #1 plastic surgeon in London, you're like, oh, this guy's successful, right? Yeah. Why aren't personal trainers and gym owners thought of the same way? Because the standards are not great. So I really do want to raise the standards. And we get a lot of people asking, can we come in and shadow you? Can we come in and pick your brain? And it's too hard to do that just on a random basis. So I'm like, here's when it starts, here's when it finishes, and here's what it looks like. And we'll teach you. And it's good for us, we can help. Worst case, we help the industry. Best case, I've got a bunch of interns that can help out with things when we're busy. And maybe, again, legal disclaimer, maybe I find some superstars because I get to see them for long. Like, if you needed instructors here, the next time you do a certification, I'm sure there's somebody that you're like, that guy, if he lived across the street, would be my guy.
Yeah. That's like one of the huge perks of the academy that we found is it's a great recruiting tool. It's almost like a big audition. Yeah,
well, what we found is I've hired people outside of that. I've got a couple of people that work for me, and they come in outside of the internship, and it takes about the same length of time to get them good.
Yeah.
You're not ready yet.
Yeah.
If you did this course, you'd be good. So we have 2 things. We have an internship, which is they come and just sort of apprentice us, and then we have one we call I should get better names for them. A mentorship, which is more of for a gym owner who comes and learns our system. That's more like the academy, like a certification, couple of days.
Yeah.
Where they come and
they pay for that.
They pay for that one. Yeah. The other one is the other one is unpaid, but we give them a stipend, and you get a free T-shirt.
Do you often get guys who you've worked with for maybe 6 months, maybe a year, maybe 18 or longer, and you put everything into them and then they'll just leave? That's like, fuck.
Well, what if you put nothing into them and they never left? Well, then.
I mean, yeah.
So that's the but I don't know if everybody will stay forever. Like, what's the life cycle of a trainer? Like, I've got guys with me. I had to fire a guy this year who'd been with me 11 years. That was rough. I didn't like that at all. That's a low point. I've got a couple of guys who've been with me 10, 11 years, and I've got people with me 3 or 4 that are good. It's things change. Like, somebody leaves, and I've got a girl who moved up north, or she moved here from Japan for her boyfriend. Like, see, that's why she's here. And he got a job up north. So she either had to decide to break up with him, which is her entire reason for being in the country, or go with him. So it was sad to lose her.
Right.
But, I wished her well, and she went on. But yeah, it can be, if you put that time into somebody, it can be heartbreaking when they move on. But my other option is to not put any time into them and hope they move on. Right? Like, they might stay forever and be shite.
Yeah, but yeah, I get that. Yeah, I mean, that's been tough for us when we've put all the time and energy into them and creating them, and then they do leave. But
make it, like, your goal has to be, as similar to me, is that this is the last gym they'll ever join and the last gym they'll ever work at. And, if you're doing that 80% of the time, then that's great.
Yeah, you can't let that fear of them possibly leaving or creating competition or whatever it is.
You left. You left some, right? Yeah. We've all done it. Yeah. So it's mine is I've got people that I left and I was working for them, and I've got, nothing but good memories and respect for them.
Yeah. What is your trainer's end goal?
Well, it's interesting because most gyms you end up with a good trainer gets promoted out of that position a lot and becomes a manager, right, and isn't training people anymore. So our guys they start as trainers, and then as they move up, they'll get paid more for the training session because they're getting more skills. And then we separate programming and training as two separate roles. Like most gyms, the trainer writes their own workouts. Yeah. I've got genius guys for that part, and I've got high energy guys for the training. So they're not always the same people. Yeah. Right? There's different types of personalities. So there's money in program design, and then they become a manager of a team. Like I've got an AM and PM team at the gym, and then with the consulting company, they get speaking opportunities with us, and they get additional income, and they can mentor younger trainers. Nice. And it eventually, if they want to open their own place, I'll support that. But that's not for everybody. Right? Yeah. That's a different mentality. Yeah. And a lot of them start to specialize in things. I've got one girl who's really taken obstacle course racing and Spartan races and really made it her own. And we've got a really strong community at the gym doing that are going to these obstacle course races. And she's just, she runs it almost like a separate business within the gym. And she makes extra money from that. She does the programming. So my goal is for them to have a full-time job being a coach, right? Not having to think about retiring and having to do sales, or retiring and being a manager. That you can coach until you retire completely, like a Freddie Roach or a Floyd Mayweather Sr. Like you only have to. This is what you're good at, and you just focus on this and get amazing, and you can do this forever. Right.
Yeah. You
know? Yeah, I like that. Where do you? You've been in the fitness industry forever. Did I read 1989? You started to.
1989, I went to. I was teaching from about 87. I was teaching Taekwondo classes when I was 3. Very young then. Now I started teaching Taekwondo classes 87, and I taught my first fitness class at 89, and then that's when I went to college. I
actually was 2 in 1987. I was born 85, but go on. Just to make you feel a little bit old, mate.
Fuck off. I'm 11, remember. That the other day. So yeah, it was a first full-time, first fitness job was 89. First full-time was when I finished college. I was 95, and I finished and moved to New York.
Right. So obviously the industry's changed so much from then, right? Mm-hmm. So much. How do you see it moving forward? How do you see it changing, and where do you see the future going?
I think it's the exercise. It's changed rapidly because exercise is science knowledge, right? You remember hearing that like you shouldn't do weight training as an athlete because it slows you down. Yeah, yeah. Well, bodybuilding does. Yeah. That style of training did. If that's all we knew, that would. Right?
It's amazing how toxic that mentality is.
Still, right?
Still. As soon as you mention the word strength training, the majority of people think bodybuilding.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you see, I've seen it with with a lot of athletes. Well, we don't do any weights. We just do like chins. Like your body weight's nothing, is it? Like that doesn't count. Right. Like your muscle doesn't recognize that as load. It comes back to in most sports, nearly all sports, men beat females, and the reason is strength. The reason for weight classes in combat sports is the assumption that it's dangerous to fight a bigger guy. Mm-hmm. Why? Because he's stronger. Mm-hmm. So strength training is like your cheat code to be better. Yeah. But all we knew was bodybuilding then. And then all we knew really was powerlifting. Yeah. And then we started understanding Olympic lifting. But these were still not training for sports. So that exercise physiology has come, and we've learned like different things. And you see now with kettlebell training and TRX and 3-dimensional training, we really understand the training on a far different level. I think it's going to evolve in the future is the experience of being. I think everyone will have a coach in some form. You won't be doing it on your own anymore. You'll have a coach either in a class or small group or one-on-one or some type of consultant giving you input into what you're doing and telling you what to do. Yeah. I think that the experience is going to change over time. I think in terms of training, where I think technology can't be ignored. I think you'll start being able to you look at a heart rate in real time now, and I can make an adjustment. Mm-hmm. I can look at rep speed in real time with certain things and make an adjustment. We're going to get real feedback during a workout that we can completely customize. Like how many rounds should you do today. We'll know exactly, right?
Yeah.
I think that stuff's going to evolve. But I think from the business point of view, it's going to be the difference makers. I can open up across the street from here with newer equipment and cheaper prices, but I can't replace what you guys have.
Yeah,
and I can't replace the culture and that sense of belonging.
Right.
Yeah.
You can open a new bar in any town, but the old bar with the regulars and that culture, right. That will stay.
That
And
community.
same with the church,
Yeah.
right? It's something that community, and it's, people are so disconnected now because they're plugged into social media and they're plugged into their phones, that there's only three. I think Jay talked about this on it. Like there's homework in one more place.
Yeah.
And in the 80s, it was Cheers, right, where everybody knows your name, right,
Yeah.
the bar.
Yeah.
And then when Friends came out, it was the coffee shop, which is the Starbucks model, right? Well, now it's where's your third place? If you looked at my job is at the gym, and we have an office across the gym. I'm 90% of the week is home there, right? If you looked at most people, where's their third place? If you can make that here,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
the future.
Yeah.
Right? That's the future of it, is
Definitely.
that this becomes this is their church,
Yeah.
this is their bar, this is their third
Building
place.
that community. And I would say that's kind of where a lot of gyms fail or fall off, because of the community's not there, you know. They're trying to grab a fast buck here, come and try this, sign up for this 12-month contract, get the money, and then it's like, yeah, fuck you.
I think machine training contributed to that too, because you put people in these little pods, right, where you're completely no interaction at all other than
Right,
with this
totally.
lever, right? You don't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like now, like if I'm swinging a kettlebell here, I have to be aware of my surroundings, right?
Yeah,
I have to have some situational awareness, and you talk to people, and it's just that, do you partner up? Like when I'm hitting the bag, do I have a partner holding the bag?
Yeah.
That brings something to it, right? It's not just me
Yeah.
on my own, right? And then it starts to not be about you being the coach. It starts being about me and Glenn training together, and you're right. Like you're part of it, but you're
Yeah.
not. It's not just
Yeah.
about you. Like if you leave, we're not leaving.
Right.
If you
yeah.
take the day off, we're still coming because it's about us,
Yeah.
right? And it's about being here and seeing each. It's like team sports, right? John Tureen, who was with the Indianapolis Colts as a strength coach for years, he said that when the athletes retire, he goes, they tell him, he goes, I don't miss the game at all, man, but I miss the locker room. I miss
Yeah.
the boys. I miss the banter.
Yeah.
Right? And like, well, let's not ignore that. Like, let's create great fitness programs and deliver what people are asking for, but make it an environment that they just want to hang out.
Yeah.
Totally.
They don't want to go home.
It's invaluable.
Would you say that's the big reason why most gyms fail? Because we see it all the time, especially in West LA. There's gyms open up all the time and gyms closing down all the time.
I think where they're falling down is because they're seeing it purely as a product, and they're ignoring
Yeah.
what we're talking about. So the product is, you come in, you get your hour class, you're gone.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We serve you what you want to come for,
Transaction.
and then you're done, right?
Well, we went from like a transactional economy where people were just, it was, the price was the most important thing. And then it started being like a value economy, where is this worth it? I'll pay more if it's worth it. Right? I'll
Right.
fly first class because I think it's better. Right?
Yeah.
It's the price. I'm not price sensitive, I'm value sensitive.
Yeah.
And Emmy moved into this sort of experience economy where it has to be cool.
Right.
And now we're in this culture economy, I think, where you want to belong to it. We have a lady at the gym, and she was telling us after we took her to this little Spartan race with this team, and she said, I've hired good trainers before. I've every year, for New Year, I'll train with a good trainer for like 12 weeks. I'll get in great shape. I'll try to maintain it myself, know that I can, and I'll start again the next year. She goes, I'm never leaving here. This is the first time I feel like I belong to something.
Right.
Like it's not just the
Yeah.
training, it's
Totally.
the belonging.
Yep.
And there's a point too where at some point that member's lost all the fact that they're going to lose without doing something that makes their life not fun. Right?
Yeah.
We can diet harder, we can train harder, but they're not prepared to do that.
Yeah.
So now they're paying my fees to maintain. If
Yeah.
that's all they're getting is to maintain that fitness, they'll be gone
Yeah.
soon, right? If I'm
Yeah.
like, this is as fit as I'm going to get training here, and I'm not really interested in pushing it harder or coming an extra day. If I don't enjoy being here, right, then you're going to lose me too, right?
Yeah.
Because at some point I'm like, I'll just, I'll jog myself, I'll do a circuit myself. And
I think
it's that culture, it's belonging.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of being successful with private training as a coach too, isn't it? Like we coach this in our academies, and I try and get this across whenever I talk about it, is you're not really, I think if you have the primary notion is to build relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and then what you do is coach people and train people.
Yeah.
But if you're focused on building relationships first, you'll go so far with it.
Yeah,
it's almost like my job's to build relationships.
You're a hairdresser or a bartender or somebody running a restaurant where I want repeat customers because they like coming.
Yeah.
And the product, it sounds weird, the product is secondary to that.
Exactly.
Like I want you to come here and enjoy being here. And this happens to be a boxing gym.
Big time.
That's
exactly.
what we do. It's, if you ever hear that the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek, he talks about that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Yeah.
Right? That if you describe yourself as we have a room full of things that you can hit. Like, that sounds tremendous. What does that be like? We empower you. We bring you bring a community where you can empower you, and we can change your life through good, smart. I can make everything in your life better through good, smart fitness training, good nutrition, and this exciting social support that we call Box and Burn, and we deliver that through our programs. Would you like to be a part of that? That's a whole lot more powerful than saying, well, we have classes twice a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Big
but
time,
it's about. You're right. You're in the relationship building business, and what you happen to deliver after that is a solid, boxing and fitness program.
Right,
Yeah, definitely.
And with that as well, when you're building that community, that's kind of half, if not more, of the marketing for the facility. I would say, because
definitely.
every person have got at least 3 friends who have been doing this boxing program or whatever, and you tell their friends. What would you say the best, apart from, I definitely think word of mouth for us anyway is the best thing to get people in. What's your favourite thing about marketing?
Nothing beats word of mouth. The hardest part is how do you double word of mouth when you need to drive it, right? How do you create it to more buzz? Because it's just there. The part that we miss is we tend to wait to ask for a referral, right? So if you saw the new Spider-Man film or you saw the boxing last night, you'll talk about it today.
Yeah.
Because it's exciting and new today.
Yeah.
If you watched TV every night and you watch the same shows, eventually you don't even mention it the next day when you come to work.
Right.
Because it's just what you do. So you've got members that have been with you for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 4 years. They don't even talk about this place anymore because it's just part of their life.
Yeah.
But that person who just came in and did their first class, they're telling everybody.
Yeah.
Ask for the referral right away. Give them, we have it, if you call to make an appointment to join Results Fitness, we ask, is there somebody you'd like to bring with you to your first appointment? And 60% of the time, 2 people show up.
Wow.
And if I'm listening in that first appointment, I'm talking to them and showing them around, I'll get a name. I'll hear you mention your wife.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, right, once you join, I'm like, here's a gift for your wife. Here's a 30-day pass for her.
Right.
Like, she can come in and try it out so she can see what you're doing. And it'll be cool for you guys to work out together. Just tell her, give me a call and we'll set up her first session. When she calls, I'm like, hey, is there anybody you'd like to bring with you? Because maybe she brings a friend. Right. Rinse and repeat. So we start right there. So my number one thing is word of mouth still. My second thing is I like getting in front of people. I like either doing seminars in gym, that's something to invite them to, or getting out to talk to people. Like if I can talk to them, I don't even need to sell. I just need to go out and talk. Yeah. And I'll get it to work then. And then you can, now with social media, you can leverage a lot of that. You can do video. I can stop and take a picture of, Joanne just finished hitting the heavy bag and go, Joanne, how long have you been here? Tell me how you were before you came here. Tell me where you are now. Boom. Right? If I ask her for a testimonial, it'll be cool and it'll be kind of dry. But if I just get that emotion in the minute after she just, hammered the bag, like you'll get that. And then we can do that. Yeah. So we're doing a thing now at the gym, the 100 workout challenge. It's from July 1 to December 1. You can do any number you want, but it ends up being about 4 sessions a week, which is challenging. And I don't care what they do. I don't care what the outcome is. You have to come 100 times before the end of the year, and I'll give you $100 to spend at the gym. And the only other rule is you got to check in on Facebook. Nice. So if I got 100 people to check in 100 times, right?
I know.
Right?
I have to listen to this podcast, man. Yeah, I love that.
So that's the part is that it's hard to ignore social media. That's powerful now too, but nothing beats you being like a referral or you being in front of somebody. Everything is designed, social media is designed to leverage that for you. You're not trying to do a new ad. You're not trying to do something different. If you do a print ad, there's a tendency for us to outsource some of that stuff, but then your voice is lost.
Yeah.
right? They never explain it the way you explain it, right? There is a part where you have to do some of it yourself, you know.
Yeah. Totally.
On that thing, so I think that's something we could implement. How do you check out the checking on Facebook, or do you just not? Just trust them?
I hope none of my members listen to this. I trust them. I'm not going to check them all.
Yeah.
But that is the requirement. And if I had members that I thought wouldn't do that, I've got crappy members anyway, right?
Yeah,
so I've got members that are kind of. I've had some who are like, I don't have Facebook. I'm like, okay, it's free. Let me set you up one just for this.
Nice.
And I'm giving you $100. Yeah. All I'm asking is that when you come to the gym, you're like, that's workout 2, that's workout 3. Yeah. And at the end of this, we'll give them a punch card that I punch every time they come in. And at the end, they do that. But from the business side of it, right, I just took you off the market for 6 months.
Yeah.
You're not going. Most gyms don't want you to come in. Yeah. Not here, like most big box gyms. They hope you pay your money and not come in.
Yeah.
I want you to come in.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay you to come in.
Yeah.
But I'll give you the business model. You're off the market for 6 months. You will be in better shape because you've trained 4 times a week, which is, it's for us who train more than spend more time in gyms than out of them. That's not a big challenge, but for your clients, it can be. So that this is a little reach. So, and also you'll probably buy more bottles of water. Yeah. If you're in, an extra 60 visits over the next 6 months, you'll buy more shakes or more supplements. So there is a business model to it, but a lot of marketing is about getting new people. The first thing to do is you got to plug all the holes in your bucket. Yeah. Get your fence around your members so that you're retaining so many. The marketing is just like this little side thing where they're almost trickling in because you don't need 50 a week because you're not losing them that rapidly.
Yeah, totally.
That's ours. Is no one renews 100%. Like you left your coach because you moved countries. Yeah. Right. I left my Taekwondo instructor because I moved countries. People will move. Things will happen. But if you're retaining a good percentage of your people year after year after year, it's funny is that marketing. I see so many marketing podcasts and books and conferences. I'm like, who are these people who just constantly got space for more customers and never retained anybody?
Right. Yeah. I think a lot of those as well. That marketing world is really just a lot of people that are soaking that stuff up are at the beginning or at ground zero and trying to build, and they're more focused on that stuff than they are getting their product great to start with. Well, then they could start using that stuff.
Well, marketing's a message about your thing, right? You're just telling the story of your thing. Yeah. And it's what's the phrase? You can only sell shit once, right? Like the product's got to be great.
Totally.
Right. So if you're not getting referrals, we always start, are you delivering great results to your clients? And whatever you do, are you delivering great results? If not, that's step 1. Go back to that and make your product better. Yeah. Number 2 is who are your clients, right? What are their stories and what are you known for? So if I asked people, my sales guy Elias does a good job of this at seminars. He says, right, who watches The Simpsons? And everybody says, no, I don't watch it. And he goes, who's this Homer Simpson? What's his wife's name? What's his kid's name? Yeah. Where does he go for a beer? What does he get? What's his favourite snack? Where does he work? Yeah. And we end up going 20 characteristics deep on a fictional character on a show that he's never watched.
That's crazy.
And I was like, all right, who was your last appointment? And they're like, it was Karen. I'm like, let's go. Karen's husband's name. We end up getting to 3. Yeah. And you're like, you don't even, these are real people who pay you money and you don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right? And the other thing is, how do they describe you when you're not around? You as your business. Because you've got a slogan and you've got a name and you've got what you think you're known for. What do they say?
Right.
Because it's good because you're in business, but they're using a language that may not be the language you use, but that's the buzz. And most fitness professionals and most businesses I consult with, they can't answer these 3 questions, right? When we get right down to it. And like, you're asking for a marketing plan for this message that you don't even know what people are saying about you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it starts back to that. So it often starts with guys that they need more clients because they've got none. Yeah. So they think marketing is the key. Yeah. And then it's really because the product's not great. Right?
Definitely.
And then they start finding that they're not actually good at sales because I've just never had enough people come in to find out you're not good at sales. Yeah. Like, I sign up everybody I meet. I'm like, how many clients you have? 8. I'm like, well, you might be signing up 50%. That might be a horrible sales ratio because you've never actually got any buzz. You never saw 20 people, coming in and talking to you.
Yeah.
Why have you only got 1 gym?
Part of it's lifestyle design. I don't think the world needs more gyms. It needs better people in them. So I'd rather help more trainers and coaches. So with Results Fitness University, our consulting program, it's kind of like a licensee, for want of a better word. They get our program design systems, they get our marketing, they can use everything, and they keep their own name on the outside. So I don't want to get into franchise.
And then they put your program in that?
Sure, yep. They can use as much or as little as they use our sales systems, our phone scripts, and they can really run it without their name being in front. So part of it was just I never wanted to open another one. It was never something that I think part of that was, post cancer, just how much money's enough, right? Like if you want to double your income, you double your work hours. That's cool, but maybe that's not really what you had in mind, right? Less time with the kids, less time with the family. So there's a zone of like, how much is enough? And
is it an affiliate program that you've got? Is that what you call it?
We call it a coaching program. So it's like a licensing thing. Is that you use anything that I have, and you don't have to be called. There's a whole bunch of legal stuff with franchising. It can be very lucrative, but you're in a different ball game now, man. Like if you're doing that stuff.
Are you in many gyms? How many gyms has got?
We got 100 members, so 100 facilities. So it's about 86 members with 100 facilities using our stuff. Some are small, some are just 1 or 2 person operations. Some are bigger.
That's awesome.
But it's awesome. It's almost like I said, is we were talking before we started. There's a little part where you have to there's a book called The Surrender Experiment where you used to have to let life call the shots. That wasn't growing up in Livingston, Scotland, saying, Alan, one day you'll be running a business consulting company in California. So it was never like a goal, just people kept asking business questions. And I heard somebody say once that thing that comes easy to you is the most valuable thing you have.
Right. Yeah.
Right. We sometimes think if I have to work hard at it, that's what I should charge most for. But these couple of things like program design, there's only a couple of things I do well. And like business consulting is kind of one of them. Yeah. And it does come easy. Yeah. And that's what people start asking me stuff. So
yeah, I love that. What's your education?
I've got my formal education is in sports science. My college background is sports science. I didn't do any business class. I wish I'd done like an MBA in business or something. Yeah. But it was funny as I was looking at doing like that over here later, doing business courses. But I don't know if you know here, the college. When I went to college for sports science, I went in Chester, and we did sports science. Right, that was all the classes. Here, you don't get a degree in sports science; you get a major in sports science. So you've got all these general education requirements. This is for British people who you'll get this. So I've got a graduate degree in sports science, and I couldn't do an MBA because I don't have the basic prerequisites in like art history and geography and things like that. Right. Because you need to have a transcript of all these basic classes. With this, so over here, like a bachelor's degree is like mainly general education, and then you specialize in a couple of topics. So I really had this idea of doing an MBA and getting seeing it. You don't know what you don't know, right? Maybe there's a whole bunch of stuff in business school that you could learn and do things. And then, so I was like, I'm not going back and doing geography just so I can take a business class later. But most of the one thing I'd say is maybe a genetic gift is I read really fast. Like I can get through material really quickly and I can retain it. Yeah. Like I can remember things quite well. So I can probably consume a degree's worth of education in about 3 months just by being diligent on the. And it's good now with like you can on the drive here. I was listening to a podcast. You can listen to a book on tape. Like you can take it in. You don't have to sit and read. So many ways to take in education.
Definitely.
Right. If you can recommend 2 books for fitness professionals out there, fitness business professionals out there, what would they be? Well,
the first one is on my private Facebook group. I give away 55 fitness tips for success, which should be called 55 things I did wrong and cost me thousands and thousands of dollars. But that's negative titles don't sell.
Where can you find that one?
It's the Alywn spelled a weird way, ALWYN. If you go Alywn Cosgrove Facebook group on Facebook, it'll come up and it's a free download there. It's a physical book, but you're getting the ebook. So that's a freebie. I'll give you 2 more. The other one is The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. It's an old one, but it was the first book to make me really understand the difference between being good at the thing and running a business that does the thing, right? That regardless of your your abilities as a Olympic boxer, as a pro boxer, that doesn't mean you could make this place a success. That's not the skill. That's the thing. Being good at the business side of it is different, right? That was the first book to really make me understand is that just because you're a good trainer, you don't have any business running a gym.
Yeah, right. Big time.
And the other one I would add is the one I mentioned earlier, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. That one was given to me as a gift a few years ago. I wish I'd read it 10 years before it came out.
I've seen the video on that. Yeah. Is it worth reading the book as well as watching the video?
So you watch the videos. I mean, however you learn. Like if you learn better by reading, get the book. If you learn better, video.
I love that quote you mentioned before from him about people pay you for why you do it, not what you're doing. Yeah, it's a great one.
You start seeing culture, right? Like Apple. You see people with Apple tattoos and Harley Davidson tattoos, right? That they're so invested in this thing, right? Yeah. That it's part of them, like. And I think a lot of that's culture. That like people don't go out to get coffee. I'm going to Starbucks. Right,
I'm gonna go
get a Starbucks. Like Disney has a culture. Like there's things there where it's Nike outperforms Adidas and Under Armour and Reebok because there's something intangible. There's some sort of thing there, right? That it's like a culture of you're a Nike guy, right? Like you're an Apple guy. Like that's the thing, and it's people don't buy what you do; they buy why you do it. What's your mission? Like what do we like? Making money is not what you do. It's this thing that comes. Like, money is just this transaction system we have. Like if I want a bagel and I know training, I can exchange training for a bagel. But if I don't need a bagel, well, that guy can't get training. Right. Well, that's where money came in. Money's just a made up thing that we have. Like we give it too much power. Once you strip away that and just understand it as an energy, then it's easy to make a lot of it.
I love that, and I think this is episode 65 or 66, and I want to put it out there and say this has been my favourite podcast that I've done.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and listen to them all, and I bet you say that every time. At least this is the last one you've done.
Yeah.
If you say that in them all, that's good.
I used to say it in the beginning when we had like 5 episodes. I'd be like, I think that was my favourite one so far. And it was like we were like 4 episodes.
I feel bad for that first guy. He's like, man, shy.
I've never said it. During the podcast before. We sometimes say after that was a great podcast, but for me this has been my best one, and I've just loved having you on, and I'd love to get you on again, and because I can relate so much. I don't know if you've travelled from the same places where I'm from. You know, I get asked all the time, "Are you Scottish?" I'm like, "No, I'm from the north."
No, for those of you listening,
Sunderland's pretty much Scotland.
On the southern hemisphere of Scotland, there's this dark swampland. It's very, very smelly. That a lot of people call England. Sunderland are Scottish people with their brains kicked out.
If you've never been to Scotland, don't go because it's a fucking shit. You know, I was fighting in Glasgow one time in the Commonwealth Federation Championships, and I was lying in bed trying to get to sleep. I was fighting the night before, and we were stopping in this college campus, and I was on the ground floor, and I had my window open with the fresh air coming in, and I heard a rattling noise, and I was thinking, what's that? I was half asleep. I was thinking, am I dreaming? Is someone at my window? And I went and opened the curtains, and there's a smackhead there, like just monged out his face trying to get in the window. Me, I nearly shit myself. What you fucking doing? I'll fucking kill you. Just went mad, and all nervous and all that. And then I went and told the rest of the England boxing team. I mean, what a window to try and rob. And all the boys come running in and all that, but he'd run away. So that is Scotland for you. That's why you should not.
That happens all the
time. every day. But mate, if people want to find you and find out more about you and more about your academy and how can you help them more, where can they find you?
The easiest place is I'm on Facebook, Twitter. I'm late to the game on Instagram. I've really just started there. I'm trying to post a little bit more there, but it's all Alywn Cosgrove, Alwyn Cosgrove, all one word, all 3 platforms.
Great.
Got it. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming on, mate. And yeah, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, like I did, obviously you all know that, please subscribe on iTunes and leave us a review as well. Leave us a 5-star review and tell us how good it was. Until next time, thanks a lot, mate.
Cheers, man. Thanks for having me.
We'll see you later.